Yeah, and what's up, internets? I hope you've been enjoying this episode of FanBrosShow, the voice of the urban geek. And like I said before, make sure you're subscribed on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Stitcher, everywhere you can find us. You know, hit me up on Twitch, FanBrosShow on Twitch. We're rocking video games, DJing, do all kind of shit. You know, you see this video right here. We are doing everything for your entertainment. And it is now time for one of my favorite segments on the show, the Geekquently Asked Questions. The Guac is Extra, where we answer any and all questions from our listeners. That's you, the people we love. And what do we have up first tonight?
Up first comes from Anthony A. And this is actually related to our last episode where we talked about Deadpool 2.
Uh-oh.
Anthony writes, I watched the Deadpool 2 review that you guys did, and it seems y'all didn't care for the plot that much. Nope. What would have been a better story/plot to make the movie better? Thanks and love the show.
Anything? I was told today to curb my, disrespect to Deadpool, because I actually did enjoy the film overall. I just had some major problems with it, and you can watch our video on YouTube if you haven't already, the Deadpool review, and check it out. And we discussed why we weren't really feeling it. And
well, you
weren't really feeling it.
I
close the door, not us.
For yourself.
I want all the curses, So I thought that I thought it was funny, but I just thought the plot could have used anything. And when I say anything, I just did not like how they killed Vanessa or Cable's wife and daughter to motivate the male heroes. And I feel like you could have just done anything else with Deadpool, and that's pretty much it.
I think if they would have cut out the whole Vanessa killing angle and maybe get to the point where Deadpool's killing all of these, he's assassinating all of these, like the rival gangs, the Russian mob, the Yakuza, all these people, and something happens to get him put in the icebox.
Yes.
Like either that or cut out the whole gang shit and go right to saving the mutant.
Yeah.
Like he's hanging out at the X Mansion. He crashes the X Mansion. He's like Vanessa's telling him he needs to go hang out with people. Like, you're up under me too much. So he crashes with the X-Men, and he's trying to find like where the fuck are the X-Men? Like, why is it only just Colossus in them? And then they go out. That's like a comic. Then they go out to try to help Fire Fist. And then really you take it from there and just tighten it up a little bit. I think I was good with that.
Yeah.
All the extra shit was extra, but I think that would have been something enjoyable.
Yeah, I think we've learned with Deadpool, the cinematic version, that he needs little to no impetus to do anything.
Yes.
So to your point, Jeff, they literally could have kept the story as is and just cut a couple of scenes, and you still would have had a better movie. I think that really he could have just been like, one day woke up and said, I want to be part of the X-Men, and then that would have been his trainee entry. I agree. They didn't need to kill Vanessa, and in fact, if that's how they felt, don't even put her in a movie. Right. Like, bring her back for the third, and let it not even be about her. Like, the first one to me was about her. Yes, it was his origin, quote unquote, but it was really about her. So we should be off that and go to something new. And really, besides maybe toning down, I mean, even though that is Deadpool at his core, I still feel like they could have still turned down a bit of the every other line is a joke. And not even every line. I felt like every line was a joke, joking on the line before it. I just think that they could have just smooth that out just a bit more, and I wouldn't have been on the verge of being annoyed. Again, I know that's his characterization, but from a cinematic perspective, when you're sitting in a theater, you're like, fam, we could be better than this. So
if you want to know the answer to the question, turn down for what? It's Deadpool 2. That's what. Just turn down a little bit. But even if he was, let's say he's trying to become an X-Men, and Colossus is like, nah, you're wild and you can't be an X-Men. So he's like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to build X-Force to do help. I don't need y'all.
And like, that's how we know the fact that we can do this less than, like, not even a whole minute, 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, three of us individually had different ideas for how to make it work. So don't tell me it was, we had a vision, it was too hard. Like, we literally wrote the movie in 1 minute. So come on.
That's like the equivalent of you go over to your parents' house or your grandmother's house and they cooking and you're like, yo, you better eat all this damn food. I cooked, I paid for all this food. You better eat this damn food. That's how they felt when they got that budget. They were like, yo, we gotta throw everything in. They gave
we gotta eat it all.
We gotta eat it all. Just throw it in. Don't worry about it.
You gonna get these jokes.
Right.
Keep that end credit scene though. That was fantastic. Sensational.
I keep saying though, I'm sorry, Ryan should have been shooting himself in the head for all those rom-coms that he did as well, because that's more damaging to his career than Green Lantern or Wolverine. But
no, it's not.
Yo, he did a lot of terrible rom-coms.
He did, but I don't think people really remember him from that stuff.
I don't even remember.
Well, I mean, damn, that says it all. Like,
changed the timeline, bro.
I've been telling y'all time again. He has lived his entire career to be Deadpool. Like, you're never going to remember him as anything else. That's how he shaped his life.
He is Deadpool.
Yeah.
If I found out one day he was Deadpool, I would not be shocked.
Seriously.
I told you.
And I'm not shading. Like, he's even said that himself. That's what he's lived his life for, to do this, to be this person. And if he had the mutant powers, he would be, as Jeff say, the real Deadpool.
All right. What do we have up next?
Up next comes from I'm skipping that one. Comes from Statica Shakur, aka Statica Shakur. Like
no. Okay. Oh no.
AKA
that's the double. That's the double, the daily double right there.
AKA Living Kringle. AKA this one I'm gonna mess up. Targa-Uren theorem. Inspired by the Pythagorean theorem, so I'm probably saying it wrong.
Targaryen.
Targaryen.
Yeah, that's Game of Thrones. Okay.
Okay. AKA Tuxedo Flask. I like that one.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
They write, can you name or think of a fictional character with a cool ability, power, talent that you felt was never portrayed to its fullest, even when it should have been? For example, did you ever think, why didn't X character just do Y? Or would have been a perfect opportunity for that character to showcase a specific talent. Thanks and love the show.
Stripperella. She never made that thing to her. Now
she never lived up to her name.
Yo, man. She never made the VIP stage. No, go ahead.
I was gonna go for the gusto and say from a cinematic version, Storm.
Cold-blooded.
Still never seen her.
I need my tea.
Shout out to those two actresses who have played her. God damn.
It infuriates me. And depending on what story you're reading or whose version, they use the term Omega level mutant. She's one of them. So, and by Omega level, they meant the end of the world type shit. So for you to say this about a character who, regardless of the labels, depending on who you're talking to, she is really that nigga. Like, how do you debuff her that bad? How do you nerf her in every single iteration cinematically? Like, it boggles the mind, and there's too much history for you to disrespect Storm like that. There's too many comic books, there's too many stories, there's too much animation for you to come at her wild like that. That's wild disrespectful to me. So Storm.
Ouch. Well, the other, I mean, she did beat up on Toad. I'll go with
okay. She really was that a beat up?
I mean, that was a pure joke.
Toad ain't no formidable person. Let's get that out the way.
I mean, that's the point. She beat up on Toad. I was gonna go with Darwin, who
dirty.
Shout out to Combat Jack, because Combat Jack was the one who always pointed that out to me. Because when I first told him how much I love First Class, he was like, "Yeah, that movie's trash," because they did Darwin disrespectful. No, the movie. Oh, I love First Class.
I mean, it was cool.
Class was good, but how did a black man die in the movie and his powers to adapt?
Ouch.
How?
Black man will never win.
Was he like bomb toast intolerant? Like, was that his kryptonite?
Eating grenades, my only weakness.
If I stick your head underwater, you grow gills, but you can't eat a bomb.
I got two words for you: Kevin Bacon. Nothing escapes that man, okay?
Facts. Yeah, facts. But shout outs to Darwin. That's definitely my choice for that one. That's a great question. If anyone else has any suggestions for that, please hit us on Twitter at FanBrosShow. leave a comment on our Instagram.
Did you have one, Jeff?
Yeah, I was about to say I was dead. I wasn't dead ass about Stripperella. I wasn't dead ass. I was just.
I thought you were going. I mean, I feel that one. That that's personal.
I don't know why Stripperella popped.
I don't either.
But I had to get it out. But is this just for cinematic versions?
Oh no,
anything. I took it to mean cinematic. Ben said cinematic too, so you could do anything.
Is there one person that I think they show their powers that it's never been displayed in like a proper light?
In the way in what you think should be proper. Like they had an ability or talent that was never really displayed, or it wasn't displayed right, or whatever the case may be.
I was trying to think of any X-Men, but it's like they do everything with them dudes' powers after a while. So
you know who they've never shown do anything, and maybe it's because in her timeline she's still too young. Jubilee. In the X-Men films, in the cartoon, she wasn't doing shit with them firecrackers anyway.
I feel like they had to. That's what I mean. At some point in the comics, Jubilee had to turn into some
maybe later in the comics, but on the Fox Kids version, she wasn't doing shit. She was mad annoying. But that being said, I do know in the comics she's portrayed way differently, and she's not this, as I mentioned, firecracker type little girl. Like she got some chops on her. So I feel like that you've never seen that, like in a lot of different mediums, you've never seen that done properly.
Right. I mean, Jubilee at all. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Thinking about it now, it is kind of tough because I feel like over the last few years, a lot of characters have gotten their due. Just in terms of how they've been drawn, how their powers. Because a while ago I would have said Iceman, but in the last few years,
the last ones they
but it always takes like an Elseworld story or an alternate future him to show. He's like because I remember there was stories where the classic Iceman where he had the X belt, that was supposed to be to contain his powers because he couldn't contain them.
Mm-hmm. There's always he got amped up too much. His powers had gotten increased by somebody.
He's literally a god. Like he's an element. He's an element of the world. And there was one story where the narrator was just saying, I forgot who the character was. And if y'all know, let me know. Who he basically said he hasn't even realized yet. But one day he will. Where like there's been future iterations where he's been like an ice wizard. He's like Gandalf, but with the powers of ice. And the fact that he can freeze the air, the oxygen around you so that you can't breathe. Little shit like that I don't feel like. I feel like the current Iceman should be able to do. Like honestly, he should be like the ex-villain that goes like one of these heroes that goes nuts, and it's like, yo, how the hell are we gonna contain him? Because he when he gets to the point where you can't just, it's not like an RPG where you can just, I'm gonna use the fire spell on the ice monster. No, he knows how to get around
10,000.
Right. All the hit points, right? Let me use my limit break and get him out of here. But even if you evaporate him, he's still alive. He just needs to like go freeze up somewhere. So it's just little things like that I wish that they would put in for the current character, like in his time.
Right. Well, see, you bring up a good point because I do feel like they not never, but in most iterations of characters, particularly if they're the quote unquote good guys, they never show them to their fullest extent. Like it's almost as if their goodness is their power belt holding them back. You saw, like, even if you use something real old, like the old Superman, like Christopher Reeve Superman movies, it wasn't until he was Nega Superman when he was drunk and shit, where he was pulling tricks that he wasn't doing before. And it's like he has that power. Now, granted, that was also creative license from the writers.
No, not that good of me.
That was creative license from the writers, but at the same time, you can say, oh, well, technically Supes always had that power, but because he was very moral about things, he never wanted to use it. So, that's an interesting thing that you brought to mind.
Red Kryptonite is like Kryptonian Hennessy. That's why when they on that Red Kryptonite, they go nuts. But even to your example, another good example of that is Superior Spider-Man. When Doc Ock took over Peter Parker's body, and he was like, "Yo," he literally made him a hot.
He's like, "You're not using your powers right."
And it was like a scene where he was fighting Vulture, and he punched his jaw off, and everybody's looking at him like, "Spider-Man, yo, what? Like, what are you doing?" He's like, "Yo, he's a criminal. This is how he's supposed to handle criminals. Like, this is how we're doing it now." And everybody's like, "Yo," it's like you give him that Batman look where you got to go into the vault and figure out what your countermeasure is against evil Spider-Man. Like, oh, right here, filing for respect. So Yeah. And the whole reason why he's never done that is because he always holds back. You never see full power. But Ak wasn't having that.
Yep. That's another great question. All right. Thank you for that one. And what do we have up next?
Up next comes from Curvy Geeky Fangirl. What's up? Curvy Geeky Fangirl actually writes up all of our fashion posts, our fashion fandom posts. So all those dope outfits you guys see based on movies and TVs and games, she does all that. So make sure you hit up fanbros.com.
Amazing work.
Amazing work. Love her. So she writes, have you checked out the not so subtle hints about the villain for Daredevil season 3? Will they do the villain justice? So first, do you guys know who these hints are hinting to?
I did not know, but I'm just trying to take a wild guess and say it's Bullseye, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, who else you got?
So,
actually, no, let me take that back. Because I'm so mad they still haven't done this character, Typhoid Mary, who Ann Nocenti, I think, created back in the day, and is one of Daredevil's illest villains, and they have an ill love-hate relationship, and it's just such a... I mean, her design, everything is such an ill look and an ill character that I'm, sad they haven't brought her into the series.
All right. So it could have been a purposeful leak, your strategic leak. It could have been a mistake. But the costume designer for Jessica Jones and Daredevil, she shared an image on her IG account with that behind her had, or in front of her had, a bunch of Daredevil clothing and stuff from the costume department. And it was a bunch of like jackets with the title logo of the show saying season 3. So they were, generally saying, they was flexing, right? And then to the side was a big black and white bullseye. So everyone was like, really? Like that's what it is. So, I mean, like I said, it could be very purposeful leak or
purposeful. Yeah, definitely purposeful.
Wasn't that a plot line in Grownish this season?
It was.
Where's Zoe?
Zoe fucked up her. How you take a selfie in front of a complete line of unreleased
Wylin?
But anyway, again, this was purposeful, I think, but something similar happened. So, those are the hints, not so subtle hints that Curvy Geeky Fangirl was talking about. Will they do the villain justice, do you think? I think yes, because they've proven, with the exception of maybe a couple of episodes, they've proven that they kill it when it comes to Daredevil. Daredevil came out the gate swinging. It really basically hit the marks every time the new seasons have come out. And again, there's been some lulls in it, but generally speaking, I placed it in my hierarchy of Marvel Netflix TV shows. I've typically placed it up top.
Mm-hmm.
So I trust their process, their creative process, and their process to bring these characters to live action. So I think they will do the villain justice. That being said, I'm saying that in a general perspective, because I personally don't know that much about Bullseye. So maybe you can educate me then. Or you, Jeff.
I can't remember his complete origin, but just know he's an assassin. He's somebody who rarely misses his mark. I forget. I can't. It's bugging me.
Is he like the Marvel version of Deadshot?
No, all right. Well, I can give you a little bit more than that. Bullseye he's an assassin who doesn't miss his mark, and he can take any object, anything, and use it as a weapon and throw it, whatever, use it to kill. Like he's been shown to kill people with, throwing cards or pins, anything. Shit. Yeah, I mean, worse than Gambit, like anything, like, anything.
He could pick up like a feather and kill you with the feather.
And somehow be able to direct the pointy
paper
in your eyes.
Whatever.
Paper plane. I could see him doing it with a paper plane.
Oh,
right,
yeah, that shit. You're dead.
Yeah, done. So he's the only real holdup that I see coming with this is one of Bullseye's most famous stories. Spoiler alert for a story that's like 30, 40 years old at this point, I think, is him killing Elektra and the whole Born Again Daredevil run.
But she died and came back already. So
yeah, and that's the problem with that, because that was like the moment, because he kills Elektra. I want to say Daredevil then wiles out and snaps his neck. And because of that, Daredevil gets put on trial, and it becomes the trial of Matt Murdock, and it's a big thing. And that was like a famous, it's Born Again by Frank Miller, when Frank Miller wasn't absolutely batshit insane. And it was a really dope storyline. So that's the only hold up to him translating, because you can't murder Elektra again. And if they do, oh my God. So,
but if you do, I don't think no one's gonna care.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah,
could also go into the more recent storyline.
Should be back
where Daredevil kills Bullseye and then takes over the hand.
Oh,
that one.
Yeah. Yep.
That story I know.
That was I think that was the Matt Friction.
Yep.
Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember, but it was yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I forgot talking about Bullseye in the 2003 movie with Batfleck when he when he played Daredevil, Colin Farrell played Bullseye.
Yes. Yeah, I know he did. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, that answers the question that we just got asked. You know, a character that didn't get done right. You know, it was Bullseye because that shit was trash.
And that was real quick. That was Andy Diggle who wrote that, the Shadowland.
Yep, Shadowland. Yep, great run where Daredevil has on the black suit with the red DD on his chest.
He was the Black Devil. The Black Devil.
All right. Do we have anything else tonight from our Guac segment?
One more.
Rock and chips. Shit.
One more. We got from Bucky's Instagram cameraman.
Oh, I love that one.
They write, I spent the holiday weekend watching all 3 Cap movies. CAP, Captain America. So which is your fave, or conversely, what's your fave part of each?
Ooh, great question. It's crazy how I think the Captain America as a trilogy is like the best of Marvel's output, you know, so far. Yeah. Like overall as a trilogy, I think they had the best one. And for me, I still got to go to either Winter Soldier and just the overall Winter Soldier. The elevator fight scene is pretty ill, but I'm gonna give it to. I know that shit is so sick, but I'm gonna give it to Civil War for the fight scene in Civil War as the moment, because there's so many little moments in that.
Talking about the comic book cover moment. Or are you talking about just the general fighting moment?
I'm just talking about Civil War. No, not that moment. That was ill. I'm talking about the big airport fight scene.
Okay.
When everybody is battling it out, and there's just so many little character moments, like Ant-Man running the thing. I'm awesome. As he's running before he transforms into Giant Man, like that. I'm awesome. Just gets me every time, you know. Or you have a metal arm, you know, just like all those little things in that scene alone. It's just it
was genuine. It was very genuine. But that elevator fight, Lord Jesus.
Yeah. How everybody keeps getting in, and you know, you see Steve like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Oh,
the audacity, the nerve.
Steve was definitely disgusted too.
Disgusted.
He said, so y'all really want to do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
He asked him, does anybody want to get off before we start this up?
No, he was a gentleman. That's a 1940s gentleman for you. Yeah. You know?
Before I bust that ass.
I do lean more towards the elevator scene just because I didn't see it coming. I enjoyed the Civil War fight scene. Like, that was just ill. But I did not see that coming. Like, I thought, okay, he's just gonna give him a little smoke. But didn't that elevator fight scene precede the Netflix hallway fight scenes?
Yes, it did. And I always put the two together as the best individual fighting scenes in all of Marvel's.
Did I tell you that first in a Daredevil, when they fought in the hallway?
Oh my God.
They literally were fighting for 5 minutes. I was like, damn, he's still, and you can see he was tired.
He was gassed.
Like, damn, bro. Like, yo, y'all still fighting? Like, they were literally fighting. Like, you know, have you ever watched a fight, right? And you're like, damn, y'all got mad energy. Nobody knocked nobody out yet.
Yes.
You just start wrestling at some point just because they need to.
Yep. I'll be running out of breath, running up the escalator on the subway. Like, how?
No word. You do the high knees and you get up top and you like, damn. I thought I was Jackie Joyner, curse you out this month.
Oh my gosh. My favorite was, and it not just because of the elevator scene, but goddamn, Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier. Favorite cat movie, rather. It was Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I vacillate between Civil War and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But I just think my expectations were exceeded more with Winter Soldier. Just I thought it was going to be good, but it was like a spy film. It was dope, man. It was dope. You know, Civil War is still dope to me, but like I still give 2 the edge, and it's still the best trilogy of comic movies to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And a lot of people hate on First Avenger, but I love it because I think it sets up Civil War. I mean, Winter Soldier.
They're hating on it retroactively.
Right.
Yeah.
After they've seen everything, and that's not even a legitimate comparison. So no.
Yeah, but I think it sets up Winter Soldier so well because it gives you this different version of Cap. You know, it gives you, even though he's in World War II, it's like more of a like positive, like, okay, America, and then everything is great. And then when he wakes up in this new world and, you know, the things that he believed in have been corrupted. And so that's why you had to have that first one. And one more moment is one of my favorite moments in all Marvel films is when Red Skull in the first one is sitting there trying to zap his scientist with the laser and he misses and he has this like disgust where he's like, oh, like I really have to aim this thing again, like the audacity, you know, and then he like aims the laser again and blasts him. Like it's this little quick moment, but it is so funny. Like look it up on YouTube because it'll have you crying like how disgusted he is that he missed with the first blast. So, you know, that was my little moment, but that's definitely a great question.
Yeah. Great question. That's the end of the guac. I'm just going to give a shout out to King Wizard DL or King Wizard DL. I'm sorry if I'm saying your handle wrong, but you get a shout out. Thank you for emailing.
And with that, we are going to take no volunteers around here. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back with more FanBros Show.
I've been unpaid.